something done. It's total gridlock. They don't get along, they don't like each other, the whole thing is ridiculous. But as a businessman, especially as a really successful businessman, it was my obligation to really get along with people. That's Democrats, that's Republicans, everybody, and that's what I did. I'm a conservative Republican, and in many ways I'm very conservative, but I had an obligation to my company and to my employees and to my family to get along. So I was able to get along with Clinton, I was able to get along with virtually every politician you can imagine. And when I went to Washington and when I needed something, I got it.
On that topic of Iowa, Cruz is ahead of you in some polls. He does have backing of the evangelical community. If you look at the past winners of Iowa, Santorum and Huckabee, people say that he would be the favorite. Bill Kristol on ABC's This Week said that if you lose Iowa, the mystique will disappear. What happens on February 2nd to your campaign if you do lose Iowa? Is that something you're even concerned with?
Well, first of all, I think we're doing really well as, as a candidate. We're doing really, really well with the evangelicals. And if you look at the numbers, I'm really at the top or close to the top with evangelicals. I've developed an amazing relationship, and I'm a Protestant, I'm a Presbyterian to be exact. I've gone through the whole thing. I mean, my relationship right now with evangelicals and always has been outstanding. So I don't know who's leading with evangelicals. I just saw a poll coming out where I'm leading with evangelicals. I'm doing very well with the Tea Party, and I'm doing very well in the Iowa. If you look at Iowa and look at CNN, which is a recent poll and a very big one, I'm at 33 and Cruz is at 20. So I don't know how I'm going to do, but I think I'm going to do very well in Iowa.
There's
the candidates in the Republican field. Should you take the nomination, do you see anyone among that field that would be an attractive vice presidential candidate for you?
It's possible. It's really possible. I mean, I've respected a number of them. I'm not going to say every one of them, and some more than others, but I have great respect for a number of the candidates that I'm running against.
You have been in both worlds. You have been in the entertainment world, you've been in the political world. How much entertainment is there in the political world? How much of it is the show?
Such an interesting question. I guess you heard that question. You've been in the entertainment world, and I've been in the business world, and I've been in this, and it's a lot of it can be applied. I mean, frankly, whether it's business or entertainment or politics, a lot of it can be applied. It's been an amazing period of time. I've really enjoyed this. We've had just incredible results. The relationships I've developed in Iowa have been incredible, and New Hampshire and South Carolina and Virginia and Texas. I mean, all over. I'm leading in the Florida polls against two people that one's a governor and one's a senator, sitting senator, and I'm leading substantially in Florida. We're leading in Ohio against the sitting governor. We've had an amazing period of time. Now we start the process February 1st, a big date. And I think we're going to do really, really well in Iowa.
Can you talk a little bit about your Get Out the Vote campaign and how you're going to ensure that people who are supporting you at rallies are going to be out there on caucus day, on primary day?
Well, as you know, and even if you look tonight, despite the bad weather, the place is packed. They just had it on television. They showed it's packed. And we get by far the biggest crowds. Now, the question is, will they show up for caucus? I think the answer is yes. As you know, we have Sam Clovis and we have Chuck Lautner, and they have some incredible people under them. But we're going to see what happens on February 1st. People want to see our country become great again. We are a country that is troubled, seriously troubled. And we have nothing but losses. We don't win with ISIS. We don't win with health care. Obamacare is a disaster. The rates are going up 25, 35, 45% virtually every year. It's a catastrophe. We don't win with anything. We don't win at the border, where people are just flowing across into our country. And I really think I actually think all of those people, and maybe even friends of theirs that weren't at the rallies or the speeches, I really think they're going to come out and they're going to caucus, and we're going to have a very good victory. But, we're going to have to see.
And how are you working on that on the ground?
I'm working.
Are you increasing spending?
Yeah,
Can you talk about that?
It's been reported $2 million.
So I'll be spending a minimum of $2 million a week, and perhaps substantially more than that.
Jeb has spent $40 million. And you guys,
no, he hasn't spent $40 million. He's wasted $40 million. There's a big difference.
So why is it any different for you?
Jeb has wasted $40 million because
he hasn't. What do your ads look like?
Every week in Iowa leading up to February 1st?
So I'm going to be doing big ads in Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina, and they're going to be very substantial, and I think they're very well done. I've seen the first 2 or 3 of them. We're very proud of them. We're going to be talking about a lot of things, including the border, including trade, including ISIS and security for the country. We're going to be talking about a lot of things in these commercials.
Why
Will there be
spending this money
attack
now? Why are you spending this
Well, I don't think I need to spend the money because if you look at the polls, as you probably just saw 20 minutes ago, Reuters came out, and I'm close to 40, and second, I believe, is 13, which is a big gap. I don't think I need to spend anything, and I'm very proud of the fact that I've spent the least and I have the best result. In other words, I spent here, you look at a guy like Bush, he actually spent $59 million, and he's nowhere. And others likewise, they've spent millions of dollars and they're nowhere. So I'm proud of the fact that I can spend the least. That's what the country needs. That's the kind of attitude and thought process that the country needs. Spend the least and be the best. In education, we spend more than any other country in the world per pupil by a lot. And we're 28th. That's the opposite of my campaign. So, I'm very proud of the fact. But now I'm going to spend anyway. I don't know that I need to. When I see a 40 and I see a 12 or a 13 as second, there's no reason to spend, but I feel I should spend. And honestly, I don't want to take any chances. We're doing so well in Iowa. We're doing so well in New Hampshire. We're doing so well in South Carolina. In Nevada, the poll came out today. It was beyond. I mean, it was 38 or 39, and everybody else is very low. But I feel I have an obligation, even to myself and to the country, to spend. And so we're going to be spending a minimum of $2 million for the first, and then we'll see what happens. And if anybody goes after me, I will spend a lot of money against the people that go after me.
Any
You
attack
mentioned
ads
ISIS a
going
minute
against
ago.
Cruz or anybody?
Well, I'm just saying, if somebody attacks me, I will attack them very much and very hard in terms of ads.
But
So
people wanna-
you got to understand, I'm $35 million under budget. I thought as of January 1st, I would have spent $35 million on ads. I spent nothing. So I'm $35 million under budget, which is a good feeling. I love to build. When I build, I like to build under budget. When we fix the infrastructure of our country, I want that to be under budget. And it's going to come in under budget because we have people that don't know what they're doing. We have politicians. So we're going to fix the infrastructure, and it's going to be done at a reasonable cost, not a cost where they have 25 times overruns. We're projects that start out at X. Some of them cost 20 and 25 times what they were supposed to cost. That's gross incompetence or theft or dishonesty or something. But I look at some of these projects that start off as little projects and they end up being disasters. We're going to end all of that.
You mentioned ISIS a minute ago. The shooter in San Bernardino was a radicalized American.
Correct.
You've said momentarily keep the Muslims from entering the United States. That said, would you suspend any other constitutional rights for Muslim Americans, such as gun ownership, anything like that?
I would look very seriously at the people that are here that are becoming radicalized. I mean, they're using our internet systems better than we do, and we're the ones that invented it. And I'd certainly get all of the geniuses from Silicon Valley together, and we will put a stop to a lot of the things that are going on, where these young, impressionable people, in many cases children, are becoming radicalized. As far as that couple, that horrible couple that killed 14 people with more to come because you have some very seriously wounded that maybe won't make it, from what I understand, we have to have people turn them in. People knew they had pipe bombs all over their floor. I mean, they had like 20 pipe bombs all over the apartment. People saw it. Why didn't they turn them in? They should have turned them in. There's something wrong, and something's going wrong big league, and we're going to get to the bottom of it. But people have to turn these people in. These are sick people, and they have to turn them in. And a lot of people knew what was going on with the man and wife, if I can even say that, because I think it's so horrible. I think they're such horrible people. They're scum, as far as I'm concerned. But people have to turn them in. People knew what was going on. They had all sorts of weapons. They had bombs all over the apartment, and nobody turned them in. They better start turning them in.
The question though was,
Sunday, Bernie Sanders said that you kind of taken the fear in Americans right now and you turn it into fear against Muslims and Mexicans. Is that true?
No, it's not true. Actually, it's the opposite. Mine is a message of hope. It's make America great again. We're going to make America great again. We're going to make it strong militarily. We're going to make it strong economically. We're losing on trade so badly. We're going to stop that immediately. We're going to bring our jobs back. We're going to make our country great again. And mine is really a message of hope, not a message of fear.
But then there's Kathleen Parker wrote this week about your kind of the white knight for the white guy, the white man's last stand. That there's sort of, you've pushed Muslims away, you've pushed Hispanic people away. David Duke is now saying that you are more radical than him. How are people supposed to take away your message when Republicans even are pushing away from you and your message? How are they supposed to suggest that you are not that white knight for the white man?
Well, I tell you what, I'm somebody that's extremely inclusive. I want people to get along. We have a president that's dividing our country, terribly dividing our country, and I'm going to bring people together, and you're going to see some wonderful things happening with our country.
So is David Duke wrong?
Well, David Duke certainly would be wrong about that, yes.
How are you going to get the Muslims to turn other people in? You say you're trying to get
I
them
got to turn them in, yeah.
But how do you make that happen?
If you have a community, and it's a Muslim community, and you have somebody in there making bombs, and other people have seen the bombs, you got to turn them in. Sorry, folks, that's the way it goes. You got to turn them in. We don't want to have another one where 16 or 20 people get killed. We don't want to have what happened in Paris. We don't want to have what happened in California. We don't want to have another World Trade Center. And believe me, there's plenty out there that want to see that happen again with the World Trade Center. And we have to find out who those people are.
How do you
And
do
we
it?
have to make, people have to turn them in. People have to turn them in. Their own communities, frankly, have to turn them in. But people knew what was going on with those bombs and with those two people. And she came here and she was already radicalized. And he was either radicalized by her or he was radicalized previously. And frankly, it almost doesn't matter. He was bad news. And these two did tremendous destruction to people that gave them wedding parties. These are people that knew them. They gave them a wedding party. And they killed them. So there's some bad stuff going on, and we're going to get to the bottom of it. That's all. It's very simple. And people that are smart and people with common sense understand that I'm right.
Bill Kristol suggested this week that he would potentially even look to start a third party and run against you if you were to be the nominee.
Well, Bill Kristol's a loser. I mean, he said I wouldn't run, and that if I ran, I'd just have a lot of fun, and I'd get up. And I mean, look, Bill Kristol's a major loser. He's lost all self-respect. He's very embarrassed to even walk down the street. People have told me that. And, you know, he's desperate. He's a desperate man. His magazine is failing badly. It's going to be out of business probably very soon. But he's hurt his brand very badly. And, you know, he's as negative as he can be because he's a loser.
Do you fear a third party?
That's all. Thank you guys.
Hold it one second. I'll just answer these couple of questions. No, I don't see a third party. I don't see that. No.
Would you use language like that, like calling people sir or saying?
No, I'm saying somebody says
If you
negative
were
about me.
president,
Yeah.
if you were president,
No, it would be a different tone. Right now I'm running against, it started out as 17 people, now it's down to 14. I guess another one's dropping out today, Pataki. So it's down to still a lot of people. No, I'm running against a lot of people and get a win. I want to win for one reason. I don't want to win for myself.
But you would
I
change
want to
yourself.
win. I want to win to make our country great again. That's why I want to win.
Do you have a problem with
That's all the
kids?
time
Do you have a
we
problem
have.
with kids
Thank
view
you so
your
much.
language and they see your language and the way they talk to other people?
No, I have a great relationship with kids. Really good.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you all very much.
You didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.